and girls, it's me, Mrs. Claus. Now, you've heard of Dasher and Dancer, and you know the most famous reindeer of all. But do you recall
The Goofy Reindeer? Wait a second, do you mean Bob?
Bob? Who named the reindeer Bob? Ho, ho, ho. Why, I named Bob.
It's Santa!
Whoa there, this story isn't about Santa. But Santa's in the story.
Well, yes, but the story is about Bob the Goofy Reindeer.
Tell us the story already. Well, you see, Bob can never do anything right.
He's getting a blizzard into Santa's toy shop.
And spill the hot chocolate on Mrs. Claus' best dress. But could he fly?
Of course he can fly, like a rocket ship.
Like a rocket ship?
Bob could fly so fast that you can see stars shooting from his hooves. Bob could fly so fast that he made a sonic boom during takeoff. Bob could fly so fast that he disappeared in space for 3 days at a time.
Yes, Bob can fly fast.
That's awesome!
Well, you might think that until it was time for Bob to land. It took an entire year to repair Mrs. Claus's living room after the last time Bob flew.
Let's not even mention what happened to the snow mountain or what is left of the snow mountain.
You see, trouble didn't follow Bob.
Bob followed trouble.
Everywhere Bob went, trouble was sure to go.
But Bob wasn't a complete goof-up.
Ho, ho, ho. No, sirree. I'll never forget how Bob saved Christmas back in 2009.
Bob saved Christmas?
He sure did. It was his best goof-up ever.
You see, the biggest blizzard ever hit the North Pole on Christmas Eve.
Just as Santa was getting ready for takeoff, an enormous northern wind blew through and almost blew down Santa's workshop.
Oh no! Oh yes. The elves were chasing gifts that fell out of the sleigh.
The reindeer were so bogged down in snow they couldn't get off the ground.
Mrs. Claus started to cry.
Christmas is ruined! Christmas is ruined! But Santa had a plan. Ho, ho, ho. Bob, do you think you can blast my sleigh into the atmosphere?
I forgot.
Oh, no!
Oh, yes!
So Bob climbed under Santa's sleigh into the deep down snow. And Santa climbed into his sleigh.
Then Santa said,
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, on Blitzen. To the top of the sky, to the top of the stars. Blast away, Bob!
1, 2, 3, blast off! Bob performed his biggest blast off ever.
Off and off he went.
With Santa in his sleigh and with 8 tiny reindeer. Then he disappeared.
Right off the heck out radar.
All at last.
But wait!
What now?
Suddenly, in a millennium past midnight, time stops on Christmas Eve, you know. Head elf detected a wonderful,
Beautiful.
most delightful sight. Presents shooting down from the sky and into chimneys.
A rocking horse for Noah.
A dolly for Mater. Hey, it's the 21st century.
An iPad for Hirschpo. A cell phone for Berlin. And a BMX bike for Carberry.
But what about Santa?
And what about Bob? Well, that was the strangest Then Santa landed in his comfy chair with his hat at the break of dawn. It's a miracle!
Then Santa's sleigh landed into the garage.
No worse for the wear.
But what about Bob?
Ho, ho, ho! We never heard from Bob again.
Oh, no!
Oh, yes.
If you look up in the sky at night and see a shooting star,
That's just Bob. Acting like a big goofball.
that's Bob for ya. Ho, ho, ho! So as you can see, Bob is happy as can be playing star hockey in the sky.
Every now and then you can see him wink. I close two eyes.
But most especially on Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas to all! And to all a good night.
Ho, ho, ho! Good night, Bob.